We've been talking a lot about X-Defiant Season 1 lately, but what may seem surprising is we're already coming up on Season 5 of Modern Warfare 3 and Warzone. In fact, we got our first teaser for Season 5 today. But on top of that, there is a bunch of stuff that has been leaked out that can point the way for what to expect for what's upcoming in Season 5. So today, I wanted to not only go over the first initial teaser here for Season 5, but also round up some of the leaks and details that you should be aware of for the things that have potential to be coming over the next 2 to 3 weeks. We'll of course have full confirmation likely by the middle of next week, but in the meantime, I figured we could run down all of this. So let me know your thoughts, drop a like if you enjoy the video, and make sure to subscribe for more Modern Warfare 3 and more FPS coverage. I'd love to have in the community. But for now, let's get into it. So first, let's talk about the first official teaser. Directly from the Call of Duty Twitter, it said, "It's about to be a smackdown. WWE is bringing its best to the ring in Call of Duty Season 5 starting July 24th. So there you have it. Just as we saw in Season 6 with Modern Warfare 2 and the Spawn crossover, the partial Walking Dead theme and crossover in Season 2 this year, we'll be getting another one in perhaps the way of a full Battle Pass theme, if not some sort of partial theme where it includes likely crossover operators at the least. Now, what's interesting is that there were, for a while, leaked executions as well that many attributed to be a Deadpool times Call of Duty crossover, given the proximity to the seasonal launch and the release of Deadpool and Wolverine. Now, that was the initial thought, but it's interesting because it seems like this is now going to be for the WWE stuff and not necessarily anything in regards to a Marvel crossover like that. Those likely being Battle Pass rewards. Now, moving forward onto the not so confirmed, but rather leaked items. Firstly, the leaks today are sourced from Bob Network UK, a prominent leaker that we've talked about here on the channel for quite some time. And as with all leak-centric videos, can't post any images, can't post anything really that is of any sort of reference to this, just because it is still intellectual property of Sledgehammer, Activision, and all parties involved in creating this stuff. Once it goes live, obviously, it's free game and it's open to the public, but right now, it's just not worth that DMCA takedown. All of what is mentioned, though, can be found over on Bob's Twitter, linked down there in the description below. You might have to scroll for a little bit, but it's there. Anyways, let's talk about some of the upcoming content. Firstly, weaponry. That's probably one of the biggest things I think within the Call of Duty space because it's the functional content that you'll be using every single game, regardless of map, mode, whatever the case. So what we've seen that is still on deck here for the coming weeks to months is the STG-44. We saw that last in Vanguard, and it was a pretty meta weapon, so kind of expecting the same thing here with this one. The RPL-20, which is an LMG. The HCAR, which is a more modernized version of the BAR. There's a spear melee, and the compound bow was actually recently updated. That was a weapon that has been leaked for months, and a lot of people were like, okay, well, when's it gonna be coming to the game? And it seems like it'll finally make an entrance here in Season 5, maybe Season 5 Reloaded, or at the latest, obviously, Season 6, but it seems like it is still being worked on. It was not abandoned. And then the final thing was a throwable axe melee weapon, which will be interesting. I think the last time, if I'm not mistaken, that we saw a throwable axe was Infinite Warfare. That seems wrong. I feel like we've probably seen that since then, but that's the last one that my mind goes to. Now, I'm not expecting, or I should rather say, I wouldn't be surprised if not all of these make an appearance here with Season 5. Perhaps there's a few that get pushed to Season 6, or perhaps they're cut altogether. That happens in game dev sometimes, but that's the most recent list of weaponry we have, which, as of the Season 4 Reloaded update, surprisingly, there was no new weapons added into the game files. As we mentioned, the compound bow was something that was updated, so it did show progress on that build and the weapon itself, but with no new weapons added into the game files, I think that's the first time that we've seen that happen in years. I can't remember if that happened in Cold War, but I know for a fact that's the first time it's happened at least since Vanguard's year of post-launch support, which is rather interesting to hear. We do know that we'll have also a few aftermarket parts coming, where you'll have one for the CAT AMR, which will apparently shoot rocket ammo. So it's kind of like the NA-45 from Advanced Warfare. As we talked about, though, the KV inhibitor just recently had one that shoots a 2-round burst, which kind of made it the NA-45. If you were to combine those two, you'd then have the NA-45 because it was a 2-shot explosive round sniper rifle. So kind of splitting that gun up into 2 aftermarket parts, it seems like. The RPK and the RAL are apparently going to have aftermarket parts, though no details have been shared on what those will do. And the Moors is going to introduce, well, honestly, it wouldn't be a Sledgehammer game if we didn't see it, but the blunderbuss. Now, we're not going to see the blunderbuss, it seems like, as its own sort of standalone weapon, but an aftermarket part for the Moors to make it the blunderbuss, that sounds pretty interesting. And again, on brand with Sledgehammer. They love the blunderbuss in their games. Next, we know of a few modes coming within Season 5. There's the arcade mode that's going to be returning, but with the Dragon's Breath tier pistol instead, which is interesting. You're going to see Slam Deathmatch, apparently, which kind of sounds like, to me at least, the Juggernaut Slam, but like in its own mode. Maybe you're all just Juggernauts. You have some increased mobility and jumping height where you can end up slamming onto players. That is a total guess, though, but I mean, that sounds kind of right. I don't know. The Massive Resurgence mode is apparently going to be returning within Warzone, which is larger player counts and in Resurgence points of interest. Massive Resurgence was on Al Mazrah, so maybe we see sorts of points of interest of Urzikstan utilized and cut out for that one, but also maybe we'll see it on Rebirth because that's still, of course, a main focal point of the game and Warzone at the moment. I mean, Resurgence kind of has dominated all of Modern Warfare 3's post-launch support, so wouldn't be surprised if that's still the focal point. But when we talk about Warzone a little further, I mean, we have seen that there's been a tremendous focus on Rebirth and Fortune's Keep and Resurgence as a whole, but if you guys remember, there were those reports that Verdansk wouldn't be coming until early 2025, meaning that we'd be stuck with Urzikstan until around the Marchish time frame, which I wouldn't be surprised then if that's the case, if that does actually come true, that we do see a little bit more focus on Urzikstan here in the future. Maybe again, that Massive Resurgence does come to Urzikstan. Maybe we end up seeing more points of interest changes like we saw with Pop-Off Power in the Season 4 Reloaded update and some of the progressive stuff we saw throughout the entirety of Season 4. Maybe we see new points of interest added, adjustments to those, more underground bunkers and sort of layers and new things to go along with that, but I would not be surprised with Season 5 if we still get more progressive rollout and evolution of Urzikstan as a whole. But I'm also wondering, because there has been that rumor of that new Treyarch Resurgence map called Area 99. Now again, with such a massive focus on sort of Resurgence this year, and if we're going to see Verdansk return next year, I'm curious if we're going to see that Area 99 in Season 5, Season 6, sometime before Black Ops 6, so that then you can kind of roll out from the Black Ops 6 launch into then what would be Verdansk in Season like 2, 2.5, and then not take away from Verdansk on that shortened time frame before COD 2025's Warzone map comes along with that. That currently being rumored to be that Avalon map. So, of course, a lot of different question marks here with that for the future, both near and far, but that's some of the stuff we've seen so far. But the only thing that we kind of know what to expect, it hasn't really leaked, is that Zombies for Season 5 will also include a final new act. Act 5 that comes along at mid-season, probably half up front in Season 5 Reloaded, and then the final bits in Season 6 Reloaded. So, of course, kind of breaking that apart like we saw with Act 4 in, was that Season 1 Reloaded and 2 Reloaded, I think it was, because we did actually have those gap periods between those. But anyways, yeah, more Zombies content is going to be coming, but only at mid-season, it seems like. So that's what we know of so far about Season 5 and perhaps a little beyond, but when can we expect official details on this? Well, next week at the earliest, Wednesday I would say, and then the following Monday at the latest is when we'll see the full reveal of Modern Warfare 3 and Warzone Season 5. We'll see blog posts, trailers, etc., everything that we normally see in that sort of announcement to rollout. That usually starts out with that roadmap and that announcement, a blog post accompanying that on that Wednesday. Into that following Monday, we'll see things like perhaps a Battle Pass trailer and blog, and then roll out onto the following Wednesday, which will then end up being August 24th, pending no changes at the very moment. But anyways, that's what we know of right now, a sort of preliminary look at Season 5 for Modern Warfare 3 and Warzone. Let me know your thoughts down below on what you guys are hoping to see, what you like hearing about, whatever the case, let me know. For now, that's what we're going to call it. Again, let me know your thoughts down below. If you guys enjoyed the video, you found it at all insightful, do me a favor and drop a like on it. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Modern Warfare 3, Warzone, Season 5, XDefiant, and other FPS content. I'd love to have in the community. But for now, thanks so much for watching. My name has been Espresso. I'll see you later. Take care, and peace.